Beatboxing is an instrument that you always have with you. There's a soothing aspect to it, being able to do it when I'm stressed. Instead of doing something negative, I can turn that into something that's creative and good and that's going to benefit someone else. My name's Dimla. I go by the name of Jaeger, and I'm from London, Ontario, but I live in Toronto now for school, and I go to Harvard College for industrial design. I was like heavily into dubstep at the age of 16. I wouldn't stop listening to it. I was dating at the time one of my best friends now. She was like, hey, have you heard of this guy named Reeps One? He can dubstep beatbox. And I watched the video and I was completely just blown away by it. As a joke, I took it up and it just grew from there, and I performed my first show. After that first show, I kind of knew I should keep going with it, and I got more and more addicted. And it got to the point where I started competing in 2013. And now I'm here. Battling is very fun. In a way, it's sort of like a mini performance, even though you're out there for like a minute 30 at a time. It's a good way to showcase your skills. When I see that the stuff that I'm doing is having a positive effect on the crowd, that's just the best feeling. When I started off, I wanted to learn the hardest sounds, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake. When you start off beatboxing, you should always start off with the basics. So there's B, T, and K. So those are the basic sounds that make up every single beat that you're gonna hear in the world of beatboxing, the vast world of beatboxing. The first sound, the, is basically you just whispering B. So B, but instead of going B, you're just gonna go B. So B. And you're gonna build up the pressure behind your lips and just let it go. So, bah, 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 bah. The next sound is probably the easiest one, but used correctly, it can add a nice flair to your beats. Next one is the hi-hat. So it's just, and you're probably thinking, that sounds a lot like me going tuh. You are right. So all you wanna do is go tuh, but then whisper it. So, but then instead of letting all that air out, you're just gonna go and kind of cut it off. So instead of that's what you want, but not the, because that's hard. Anyway, so there are probably 20 different variations of the snare. You can start off with maybe and go all the way to, but the easiest one would be called the K snare. And you can either do this inwards or outwards. Outwards is gonna be easier because inwards takes a little while to learn, but all you're gonna basically wanna do is say the letter K, like K, but really make it percussive, so K, but then you're not gonna want to let as much air out. So instead of K, it turns into K. And then as you progress with it, it'll start to sound like right, so you gotta play around with that one. So when you put all of these together, this is what you're gonna get. So once you learn, then you can kind of play around with beat patterns like, or you can go, the combinations for beat patterns are just endless. Just play around and experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things, but the key to beatboxing is always try your best and try new things.